Trash or treasures? When you see a bag like this, do you see trash or do you see treasures? You know, I looked at it. It didn't have price on it, and I was thinking, well, I don't know what's in there. Most of this stuff is plastic party decorations that are still left in here. There's this roll of florist tape, which has seen better days. I don't think it has much stick left to it. This is the bag I'm going to donate or throw away, one or the other. But in that bag, I could see that there was this roll of ribbon. Put it on the card you can. It has these little flowers on it, and I thought, oh, that's pretty. That would look good in my boho journal that I'm collecting things for. Not that I've started it yet, but I will. And I saw this key, and I collect old keys. I love old keys. I don't know if this is a real one or not, but I think it is. It's metal. I can tell that. And it's kind of bent, like somebody turned it too hard in a lock that didn't work. Anyway, I like keys. So I thought, well, and these brushes. These brushes were in there. And I like fan brushes for splattering paint. And you can always use a little brush. So I thought, okay, well, I'll get it. I didn't know how much it was going to be. I think she charged me 75 cents for it. And it also had these craft sticks that are nice quality. I think they've either been sanded or they came that way. And these little black rosettes, which, you know, I'm not crazy about the black, but on the right thing, they might work just fine. And so for those things, these things, I thought, I'll get it. And then I opened it up, and I found some other things in here that I thought, well, maybe I can use those too. I don't know that I'm going to use the frogs or the monkeys, but perhaps on a children's something, I don't know. This little clip has a blackboard on it. It looks like it's kind of messed up a little bit, but something could be glued on that. I don't know. So. Some little foam crowns that I don't know if I'll use those or not. This is a wooden heart with a heart shape cut out in the middle. That might be fun to, you know, make a cluster on it or something. I don't know. And these letters and sparkly butterflies. Don't know about those. But the letters I thought might be useful. I think they're lavender, but they might be gray. It's hard to tell on that. So, and then these foam flowers that these colors are kind of what I'm using in my boho journal, along lots of bright colors. So possibly that. These are foam. These are foam hearts. So anyway, that was my 75-cent investment on that deal. And I'm not unhappy with that. This was my shopping trip in Mena, Arkansas, where my husband and I like to go and play in the fall and the spring when it's nice. And I like to hit their antique shops and their thrift stores. And the nice thing about the Salvation Army and the thrift store where I got this one's called the Resale Store. And both of those are charities, and they don't charge tax on your purchase. So it's almost 10% tax there, so 9.5%. So that makes a little bit of a difference. Anyway, that was my first thing that I got there. And then I also bought these things. This is just some gold cord. I thought it was pretty. It would be pretty in a tassel. So I got that for 75 cents. And these little cards were 25 cents for the pack. And it's brand new. It looks like there's about 8 or 10 in there, maybe 8. I thought the cards were cute. It says, "Blessed are they who have the gift of making friends, for it is one of God's best gifts." And I think that's really nice. My mother had a gift for making friends. And then I also found this little pack of, I think these are like they are place cards. It says so right there, place cards, 10 place cards. And they have a little village scene on there, a little snow scene, and pretty embossing around the edge. And the other side is just plain. I can always use a little card like that for some reason or other. And this is elastic, colored elastic ribbon. I've used that to tie journals before, and I thought for 25 cents I would take that. And this is a roll of ribbon, and this teal color is, I don't know if this is a full roll because of the tape that's on here. But it's that pretty teal color. So I thought I would get that. Maybe a little bit's been used, but not all of it. And then I found this. I've been looking for some of this. This is rayon by seam tape. And so I found this, and it was 25 cents also. I'm excited to try that. Kathleen Mallory uses this a lot on her tags and ties a bow and crunches it up with some water. And so it's all crunched up and wrinkly, and it's really pretty. And then this is lace, hem facing. And I thought it was a good color for my boho journal too. That journal is going to have maybe too many colors in it. I don't know. And then this was 25 cents too, and it's just some gold trim, which I liked that. The other thing I got there on my first trip there, I went back later and got a couple of other things, which I'll show you in a second here. I got this bag of buttons, and they're always taped up, and I don't ever open up anything like that. I just try to look at it and see what I see. I'm going to set this plate over here. This was a plate I got at my aunt's estate sale. And I think the roses are pretty. That's why I got it. But I'm going to use it to dump out these buttons on here. These were $1 for this bag. And there's not a whole lot of really great buttons in here, I don't think. But it was interesting. They still smell a little bit like vinegar. And that's, I think that's a sign that some of the buttons were celluloid. And there were several in here that I threw away because they were so deteriorated. They looked like a Tums or a Rolaids or something like that that had been left in somebody's pocket for months. And they were real chalky-like, and they left kind of dusty feeling on these. They need to be washed. I haven't done that yet. But I just like buttons. I like the little ones to use on things, and I like big ones too, and I like ones with shanks, and I just like them. I think this one is, I don't know what this is. This is a funny kind of plastic stuff, and it's not very pretty, but it could be a base for something. And then this one, there was one in here that had this one has a, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's got an anchor on it. So I don't know if that was on a navy garment or what. So anyway, I thought that was a treasure. So I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a stone out of something, out of one of the buttons, I think. Maybe one of the ones I threw away. And a few little snaps. And most of these buttons had thread in them like that. A lot of it just fell off because it was so deteriorated. But, you know, there's a story here. Some lady cut buttons off of garments to reuse them. And put them in her button jar. So, I don't know. I just think it's interesting. That's just me. I'm weird that way. But I did think these four were pretty. They have a little rhinestone in the middle. That one's discolored. It got up against one of the other buttons and is messed up. But I thought those were kind of pretty. I may put those in my pink journal. So that was my first trip to that store, which is the resale store. And then I went back looking for something that I didn't find. Oh, I get this there. This is not junk journal at all, but it was only 25 cents. And I just love restaurant chinaware. This has, the imprint on the bottom says Grindley Hotel Ware, England, and vitrified. So it's for 25 cents. How could I leave it? I have a small collection of little pieces kind of like this. So he came home with me. And then when I went back, I remembered that I had seen this valance. And I don't need a valance like this, but it has this fringe on it, which is really heavy and pretty fringe. And I thought that would be pretty to put on the edge of a journal. Maybe the boho journal. I don't know. But it's also, this fabric is kind of pretty. I think that would be a pretty journal cover too. So it was $2. And I figured that much of that trim, which is probably, well, let's see what it says on here. It's 58 inches wide. So that's almost 5 feet of it, almost. I don't think you could get that much of this heavy trim for $2. So that was my bargain on that. And then I found this ledger book. It's a new book, but it's got these kind of pages at the front, but then it's got this kind of ledger paper in it. And I thought that would be good to coffee dye it and use it. I can't tell if it's got sewn. Oh, it does have sewn signatures, I do believe. So I can take them out and have them as double pages. There it is. So you can see the threads there. You just clip those and then you just pull it out of the book. So that's kind of exciting. I'm going to stick that card in there so I know where the middle of that one is. I'm gonna have to look for it again. And that was 50 cents. I also bought this doily. I'll put this under it so you can see it better. And I didn't really need doilies because I've just gotten a whole bunch from my aunt's estate. And these on the table are some of those that I got from her. But this one was 25 cents. So I could not leave it there because it looks like it's handmade and it's a good size. And I thought, I'm taking it. So I did. Okay, I think that's all of that. Then I went to the Salvation Army store, which had been closed the day before. And I found, I'll do this first and get it out of the way. This is a package of doilies. I think this is the kind that Dollar Tree sells. And it's 32 pieces. And there's 4 sizes. And it was 25 cents. So I thought for 25 cents, I would take it. And one of them, this one is messed up. But you know, you can use them to put on paper when you're coffee dyeing it. And it doesn't matter if it's a little bit wrinkled in that, or if it, even for your book, it doesn't really matter too much. So I thought that was a good deal. There might be 1 or 2 taken out. I don't know. I didn't count them, but 25 cents, I'm taking it. This is what else I found there. They had a bin at the back that had sewing things in it. It was 25 cents for most of them. It said 25 cents. And I got this. It's a cone. It has a plastic cone in the middle of it that somebody's wrapped their lace around. And I took these off, and they're pieces that are about 2 feet to maybe a yard on some of them long. And I didn't necessarily need them, but I thought some of them were very pretty. And you can always use a little lace. I can. So I got that too. See, I think that's a pretty lace. And the pink is pretty. And this is pretty. Delicate lace. So anyway, that was 25 cents. This was marked 50 cents, and the tag fell off of it before I got to the counter, so I didn't say anything. And the lady, I think she rang it up for 75, which that's fine. It's cellulose or whatever the plastic stuff is, but I want to cut it up and use it to paint with. And this was in a package that was wrapped together. It was 50 cents for the 2 tapes, but it has glue or something on the corner, and part of the tape is ruined. It has, or it looks like it is. I'm going to try soaking that off or peeling it off or doing something like that, but it has enough length between where the glue is that I could run it through the top of a tag or something. So sometimes you only need that much. If that doesn't come out, then I'll use that. And at the other end, there's a yard or so that doesn't have any on it. So not the greatest bargain because it's messed up, but maybe I can get that off. It's not that old. You can tell. It's maybe from the 80s. That's what that looks like to me. And then this was in the 25-cent bin, and it's pink ribbon, bright pink. And then this was probably something you're going to think, what on earth are you going to do with that? That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. But I bought this because of my boho journal. And what I'm thinking about doing, it's missing a stone right there. But I'm thinking about taking it apart and just using that much, maybe on the closure or on the cover. Just that part of it. And I think that'll look interesting. It's kind of wild and crazy, and that's kind of how that book is going to be. So that's why I got that. And it's got this chain on it. I don't think it's not particularly tarnished, but it might be shined up a little bit and be nice too. So anyway, that's what I got. Then I went to one more store while I was in Mena. The store I went to there is called the Mena Flea Market, and it has booths, and they have all kinds of things in there. They have crafts and antiques and just wide variety of stuff. A flea market. It's basically an indoor flea market. These items are the ones I consider treasures. I paid a little more for this stuff. I went there looking for this. Last year when I was there, I bought one of these piano rolls, and I have not been able to bring myself to cut it up. And I thought, well, if I had 2, maybe I could use one of them. And it was still there. This was the other one that was there. It's $3. And this one is 42nd Street is what the music is on it. So I was excited to get that. This paper is interesting. It's waxed almost on one side and then like that on the other. It has it says Shadow Waltz Piano. I think you're supposed to read going up. It says, in the shadows, let me come and sing to you. That's kind of sweet. So anyway, we'll see if I can cut this one up now that I have it. Then the other things I found. That was one day. I also got a teacup to go on my Christmas tree. I have a little Christmas tree that I like to put teacups on. I got a white teacup to go on that. That was the first day, and that was $4. And then the second day I went back and I got these things because I had seen these the day before. And there's the Mena flea market card. These were $2 each. And after paying 25 cents for one, I couldn't bring myself to pay $2. And then I got to thinking about it, and I thought, but it's more than that when you buy them online and pay shipping. And I haven't seen any around here, so I decided to go back and get a couple of these. They had maybe 6 or 8, and I got these two. 15 cents and 19 cents. That tells you how old they are. And this one is called Emerald, and this one is Chestnut. So I got those two colors. They had white, they had a red, they had another tan color. But I chose those two. I'd seen these postcards, a whole box of postcards there, and I was looking at them, and most of them were $2 to $4 a piece, and I just have a hard time paying that much for one little piece of paper. But anyway, I went back. This was $4 for the whole package, but I also got 2 postcards. Where did I put them? Here they are at the front. I bought these two. These two were $2 a piece, and they have messages written on the back, and I'm a sucker for old handwriting. And just, dear folks, we got into the house Thursday and got pretty well cleaned up. Sunday, Caroline and Daddy drove me up to my uncle's in Ithaca, and I have been staying here since then. How does Edrich like camp? Love, Judy. And that was from 1947, it looks like. I just like reading about what people were doing. I think it's interesting. This one says, hello, my boy. How goes the battle and the bikes? I have no idea what that means. That's a mystery right there. This town is so beautiful. Hope you will be able to see it before long. Could you construct a building like this? Love, Mom and Dad. And there's the building. It's the Garrett Memorial Chapel. And it was postmarked in Penn, New York. I never heard of it, but anyway. So that was those two, and then the rest of these. This is not the set. This is a Finger Lakes, New York set, and this is not the set that came in that. Part of these probably are. This is Times Square, but see, they don't match. These have borders around them. Some of the borders are darker, but I don't care. I think they're pretty postcards. None of these have anything written on the back of them, but I like them, and I will use some of them and hoard some of them. I love the ones with the old cars in them. So anyway, that was $4 and $2. So I was feeling very extravagant buying that, and you're probably thinking, what are you thinking? But I'm kind of a thrifty gal. I don't like to pay too much for my treasures. And these two items, the books in this booth were 50% off the day I was there. And I had seen this little book the day before, and I went back and saw it again. And it was originally $5, so I got it for $2.50. But just look at this illustration. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And it has pretty pictures all the way through like that. And I have no idea if I'm going to be able to use it or what I'm going to do with it. But for now, I'm going to hoard it. And it is, it's got signatures sewn in, so I could take it apart. But it's got a sweet story about this little boy, and he has a dream and meets all these people that are grumpy. He'd been grumpy with his grandma, and he meets all these grumpy people, and then he meets somebody that's really nice, and he comes back home and tells his grandma he wants to be nice and kind like Plain Jane and Checkers. Checkers is the cow. the fairies had painted the cow checkers. So anyway, and I looked this book up online. I saw one. It originally came in a box, and I saw one that was $35 on eBay or somewhere. But obviously, I wouldn't have paid $35 for it. But I'm tickled to have it for $2.50 for sure. And then this is a typing basics. It was marked $3, and when I was checking out, the lady was about to charge me $3 for it. And I said, "Well, this is a book," and she said, "Oh, okay, he won't mind. So I got it for $1.50. It's copyright 1970, and it's got typewriter practice, all these things. So lots of pages there, but it also has. This is a stand you set up in the box and put your paper on that. Put your book on that. This is a page that he did a test or something on. General information on test part 3. And then these are various pages and kinds of forms that they provided for practice. I thought of Kathleen when I saw these pretty greens in this. Western Union, Meredith's typing service, the Carlin, just different kinds of things. And then this is more practice. I guess that's how many words on each page, and you can type that and see how fast you're going or something. Anyway, that was that. And then this is a proofing guide. This has small pictures of the pages, and I don't know how you can even see that, but I guess it has something to do with grading your papers, but it's awfully tiny, but could be used for something. And then there's more of these loose papers back here. So I felt like that was a bargain to get so many things that are vintage like that. And then there's some other things back here. Anyway, that was what I got. So, I think that's everything I got on my shopping spree. Shopping spree. We used to call them shopping sprees. Now you call them hauls. But I don't like the word haul. So, anyway, that's just me. I hope you enjoyed seeing my treasures. I think most of them are treasures. Some of those things in the bag at the first were not treasures, but that's okay. Take the good with the bad. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.